morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. As for me, today is my birthday. I'm shooting this on my 40th birthday, December 27th. So if you're watching this, I consider you part of my birthday. Thank you for being here. This look, I've done this look, I feel like multiple times over this Christmas break, and I thought it was such a good idea that I had thinking about this look that I put it in my notes app. So I will tell you what I jotted down about it. I call this casual slay makeup. The reason why is it looks really finished and complete and good when you're done. So emphasis on coverage and just really good looking skin, but light and effortless elsewhere. But yeah, I really like the way it turned out. And I've already been crying this morning because Pup put up this picture of me from when I was little. And yeah, I just can't believe I've been on this earth for 40 years. I'll have a sip of coffee to that. Alrighty friends, this is the primer I'm going to use. It's the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. I've really enjoyed this one. It says High Adherence Blurring, Surface Smoother, and Primer. And I just really like the feel on the skin. I do feel like I experience good staying power. It looks white when it comes out of the tube, but can't really tell that when I blend it between my hands. Feels a little cooling. Yes, it just feels so good as it crosses the skin. The foundation I chose for a look like this is something that is pretty full coverage. So I'm using my Juvia's Place I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation. Looks like this. I wear the shade called Capri. And I'm going to shake that up a bit, get the blood flowing on this birthday morning. And I'm going to do, well, the pump came out kind of funny, but usually I do a full pump of this. I really like this foundation. It does have quite a fragrance to it. It smells kind of fruity, but I like it. It's not like bothersome. It's not really something I continue to notice outside of just on purpose smelling it when it comes out of the tube. Okay, and then you could use a brush to blend this in. I'm bringing back my old Real Techniques sponge today. And we're just gonna tap that in. And will this take down the coverage somewhat? It will a little bit, but I think you're still gonna find that we have very full coverage. And it ends up looking like still really natural. There's almost a bit of dewiness that I see with this foundation on the skin. I feel like this is a good normal to dry foundation option. Normal to dry skin if you want a good amount of coverage. Pressing it in. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, looks beautiful. Shade is great. Like I don't have any complaints about this stuff. And yes, it does wear well. And yes, it is Wednesday and I have a cheer practice tonight for this to hold up through. And I know it will. Sticking with that high coverage purpose here, we're going to pull in my Dermablend Cover Care Concealer, which is in 15C, and just use that in all the usual concealer zones. So a little bit around here, out here, yeah. There we go. And for this part, I'm going to take a little bit smaller brush. We're gonna work this around so we maximize the coverage. This is not blending, this is just moving this around the skin. Moving it around, making it take up some surface area, and then we're gonna pat it in with the sponge to get it fully blended. And not only do I feel like this maximizes the coverage of my concealer, but it makes it wear better through the day. Like it really keeps that concealer from just being in one little concentrated area and truly spreads it out. But yet, because I didn't initially blend it with the sponge, I feel like it's maximizing the coverage. Now it just feels right to pull in the good old Maybelline Fit Me with the Triangle Powder Puff. And I wear this in the shade Fair, Emily Award-winning product. It's gonna set the under eye and it's gonna brighten as it does that. We need that, we want that. We would not skip this. I mean, you could use some different powders and still get a good result. This is just ends up being the most brightening one. Can't believe how long a thing of loose powder can last you though. And I'm doing a fair amount there. I'm doing a semi-bake. We've called it microwave before because I just don't tend to leave it on there too long. We just gotta keep moving through the process. And I just take my little Morphe under eye bullet brush and away she goes. Really, really smooth, nice looking under eye area, yes. And then we feel around and we say, do we need any more setting elsewhere on the skin? And I do feel like I need a little bit. I'm not like super tacky, but that foundation does give me a little dewiness. So I'm gonna crack open my Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten in medium with my BK Beauty 107. And I'm just gonna swirl that on the other parts of the face here. And bingo, skin is full coverage, really even. And now we're gonna just play up the skin a little bit, enhance it even more with some very easy face color steps. I'm gonna use my Hourglass palette. I got the one with the owl lid, but the design on the inside is, I think it's called design number 3. It was in the snake palette. So it's basically the deepest color option you can get in this. And I feel like it's totally different from any Hourglass palette I've had before. I feel like there's a lot more color intensity in the blushes and the bronzer. Every time I use this, I just love the way it goes on. And I've heard a lot of raves on this particular configuration here. So I'm going to use that bronzer, and FYI, that's called Solar Bronze in this palette. And yeah, it does have a little bit of a satin finish, and it just really shows up. And I'm going to be taking that around the hairline. And this is what we mean about casual. You know, this is a really easy look, honestly. If you can get a good blend on your foundation, good blend on your concealer, these steps are not hard to apply. You're just bouncing around one palette. Taking it down the neck. I'm going to go down here to this blush. This is the Mystic Flush blush. It looks really pretty peachy pinky, and it just feels very full color, and I love it. It's my birthday. We're going to be blushed, of course. Let's face it, I'm going to be blushed on any random Wednesday of the year, probably. And I heard there was another chance of snow coming up. I want to see if that is true still. I know some people have been getting a lot of snow. Okay, today is cloudy with rain. It's this evening. Partly cloudy skies will give way to occasional snow showers. It's a little birthday gift. I was probably born right around this time, by the way. It's like 5:30 as I sit here. And I think that's what I actually came out. And then Thursday, snow showers in the morning. Oh, and some Thursday night too. Heck yeah, all right. That's what I'm talking about. So now we see, do we need any more blush? We might take a little bit of this guy down here. This has like a little bit of a peach, deep, dirty peach with a copper swirl. And that can look pretty over the top too. Love. And that one, by the way, is called Sunbeam blush. It's so much fun to layer these steps on top of a really good coverage face. I'm going to pop into the highlighter here, and we'll just swirl a little bit of that right here on the top of the cheeks. Yes, a little light catching. And my one concern when I purchased it, I thought, is that highlighter going to really be appropriate for me? Like, will it be bright enough? And it, as you can see, it totally is. It's not dark. It doesn't look like super light and pearly white in the pan, but it's absolutely diffusing on the skin to give a great bit of radiance there. And it's not at all dulling down the skin. Okay, so that's great. And then we have what's basically a little finishing powder in here. This is one of the ambient lighting powders, and it's in Radiant Light. So this looks really pretty, just kind of pulling the whole look together. I'm using it lightly with this Profusion brush called Round Tapered Powder. This is part of a little 3-pack you can actually get from Walmart with a couple of other great Profusion face brushes. Just glazing that all over the skin. I think that blurs a little bit. I think it adds a little bit of radiance, but I just love every step in this year's Hourglass palette. 2 thumbs up for that. I am going to use some setting spray today. I really need this look to last. I've been experimenting with my Milani Make It Last. I think it's good, but I still don't think it's quite as good as All Nighter. And as for today, I'm using my All Nighter. 1, 2, 3. So much comes out with each mist on that. It only takes a few. And then I'm going to throw together a quick brow, another quick and easy product, Emily Award winner here, my Estee Lauder. It's called Brow Perfect 3D, and it's your 3 brow steps in one. And of course you can contact my buddy David. I always put his info in my description beneath the video, and you can order this straight through him at Bergdorf Goodman, have it mailed to you. But it's a phenomenal product. I love the texture of this pencil, which is the size of a skinny pencil. It's the size of Brow Wiz. But then you also have a little powder dabber thingy, and you have your gel all in one. And look at that shade. I got the cool brown shade in this, and it really is just right on. So after the fill-in, we can use this little powder thingamajig. And so it just twists out like it's pushing up against, I guess, a little bit of powder that's packed down in there. So every time you pull it out, the spring in the bottom has allowed it to be in contact with that powder. And this just kind of perfects, continues to fill in more. You could use just one step or the other if you wanted to. Like if I was in a massive hurry, I'd probably just pull out the powder part and kind of rake over things. And then you've got your gel that really holds nicely. And it's just a clear gel on a little brush. I love the shape of the brush, kind of cone shaped. And I know if I put this on, this will hold all day. And there we go, brows are on. And then for the eye look, this is where we're really getting into, I think, the easy, casual, simple parts of the look. The lip is easy, the eye is easy. I'm gonna start out with Milani eyeshadow primer, and you'll see the thing I picked is very, like, barely there. The lashes make the statement. I could put on a false lash, but I mean, I wanna show you how well my actual lash primer combo works. So this is my little Glossier trio. It's the Monochromes Essential Eyeshadow Trio. The shade is called Almond. And I've had this for a while. I've had this before Glossier was on Sephora. By the way, are these on Sephora's website? Yes, they do have this. And it's a matte mid-tone shade. And then you've got two different sort of shimmery finishes. One comes off as a little bit deeper, and one is more like dazzling with the sparkle. But it just gives you this really easy, simplified basic look, which sometimes you want. So I'm going to go into that color right there. And if you're thinking, well, I don't have that exact palette, but I'm sure I have some of these shades elsewhere. Yeah, just pull them from any other palette where you have just this medium mid-tone brown. It's a pretty common color. Just swirling that shade, not just in my crease, but above. That's been a big thing for me, like within probably the past couple years, but hitting the crease, but taking it up, that's how you get lift, you know? So we're just going back and forth. This is my Profusion crease brush. It's buildable. If you want it a little darker, you can add some more, but yeah, this is super easy. Then I'm just gonna take a bare blending brush and just hit the edge, okay? We don't need to shear out the whole bunch of stuff we just put there, but we do want to do some edge softening, okay? Then I'm gonna pull in the slightly less shimmery shimmer that's down here, and we'll just start applying that on the lid. It's like a soft tan, little bit bronzy shimmer, I guess. And just pat that on the outer lid, and then we'll just do the third shade on the inner lid, and that's the look. Okay, got that. Very low contrast. Here we're going to go into this shade. And that will have a little more sheen and shimmer. So I feel like that makes a little bit more sense to have it here. Oh no, I had something on like the side of this brush, I guess. I got it down in the corner there. Oh, it's dusting away. Right in here, pat, pat, pat. I think I did this last time too. I do this and then I go right back into the crease shade with a little bit smaller brush. And that just targets it a little more, builds up a bit more depth, just a little. And then we're going to do a couple of really easy liner steps. I love taking a jumbo shadow stick and using it across the upper lash line. This is my Laura Geller Kajal Longwear eyeliner in the dark brown coal shade. So it's kind of like a dark brown shimmer. And we're just gonna apply some of that real close into the upper lash line here. No big deal, like it's the easiest thing. It's so simple. Looks like a soft smudgy line as opposed to just one stark thin line. The glide is so good, even on top of eyeshadow. I mean, we're asking this to go on smoothly with full color over powder. And it does every time. All right, there's that. And then what I did with the original look that kind of inspired me, I took a light liner in the lower inner rim. So I don't do this every day, but sometimes. This is the Infallible Grip in the shade, you want the shade called Bright Nude. Wears really well. This particular line of eyeliners wears awesomely in your lower inner rim. So we'll get a little added life and brightness there. I've been experimenting with the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer ever since the Emily Awards. I was like, you know, it's not right that I don't have a good drugstore lash primer option. And I used this in the past and I knew I did like it, but I just kind of got away from it. So repurchased it and I've been trying it with different mascaras and I have really enjoyed it alongside the Falsies Surreal Lash. So that's the combo I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to get a really, really good curl on these lashes. I hope the kids go easy on me today on my birthday. Yesterday there was so much nose wiping. It's hard for Bubba because, you know, he's experienced this cold and he's got all this, you know, drainage, all this goo, and just not effective at blowing the nose. Talks like he's blowing the nose, but it's, you know, it's not happening. Toys are still all over the living room. Honestly, it's kind of how it should be after Christmas, right? It's not like it's just a sheer mess. I mean, they're in the process of playing constantly, but I always remember having Christmas, and my mom's, you know, very neat, kept her living room looking so good. But after Christmas, like, I remember just dominating that living room floor with my toys. Okay, there we go. So you really see this stuff with just a few passes. It definitely lays down more on my lashes than basically any lash primer I've used. And sometimes the curl holds well with it, sometimes it doesn't. Like with Estee Lauder Little Black Primer, I can always count on that helping the curl holding. This one, it kind of depends on what goes on top. I have had good luck with an Estee Lauder regular mascara on top of this the last couple days called Turbo Lash, and that has given me a pretty good result. Like really thick lash look and does hold curl. But anyways, we take our little lash booster, volume booster here. There we go. Seeing the white lashes? Get a little more on these inner ones. And then we just let that rest for a while. We do not want to take black mascara over freshly applied white primer. But something we can do is put some Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara on the lower lash line. Always love this. In case you're new here and you're wondering, why is she always pulling that out for the lower lashes? Well, this can be 100% counted on for not smudging. Oops, until you boop yourself and just get some on your skin from operator error. It doesn't smudge, and then I smudge. But seriously, as it wears throughout the day, it doesn't like smudge down on my skin. I actually have some very long lower lashes and a lot of mascaras. If I do a full-on application, it touches my skin and it smears. And this never does. It's a tubing mascara, and not every tubing mascara is flawless, but this one is flawless with the wear down here. So that's just where I've reserved it for my lower lashes. Okay, it's not quite dry yet, so we're gonna go on with the lip combo, which is actually, I didn't think about this beforehand, but this is gonna be so perfect with the shirt I have on. Two-step lip, using hard candy, and also making use out of my Dior Lip Glow Oil in the shade Mahogany. These look really pretty together. So Instapout lip liner, the shade is Kiss and Tell. Pretty, like, kind of deepened, warm, brownish nude with this. But heavy on the warm toastiness, you'll see once it gets all filled in. I like the way these go on. They have a nice glide, but really good staying power. And there is a little brush on the other end. So if you want to like spread it around or have a little more ease of blending, if you're blending it on top of another lip color, you can do that. And you can give yourself a fun added obstacle of continually speaking while you apply it. I kind of went over there a little bit more than I usually do, completely unintentionally. I'm just getting sloppy today. Need more coffee. Oh, I guess I didn't go way over. Okay, so I really like that tone as is. And then you put this gloss on top that does have a little tint. It's not quite as pinky as the applicator looks, but look at what's on the end. It's kind of a deep reddish tinted lip oil, lip gloss. And we put this on top, it looks so good. That's the effortless slay here, you know, it's not hard. The end look is so good. So we're gonna go in with Surreal Lash. I probably need a new tube of this pretty soon. It's feeling a little, you know how you can swirl it around in the tube and you feel like, is anybody in there? I'm not feeling much. But we're gonna top off. And I like this mascara on its own. And this primer has been interesting because I like it with some mascaras that I like on their own, but it's also improved some that I don't like so much on their own. Like I didn't love that Estee Lauder Turbo Lash as is, but the two together were a nice pair. I think some mascaras just need something to grab onto, and that's what primer provides. Look at what's happening here with that lash. I mean, it's doing its thing. This is a great combo. Really good length, good thickness. The curl, they seem to be standing at attention. So there's the lashes, my friends, and at this point in time, I'd say they're like 90% dry, and that's when you want to like blink down on your finger gently, and it kind of reinforces the curl that's happening. This really helps me, I feel. And it lasts if you just do this little step. Like I kind of put my finger near the root of my lash and blink down on it, and it keeps everything kind of nicely upturned. But this is the look I'm into lately. I like seeing that really good coverage on the skin, really easy, simple steps elsewhere, but I feel like the whole look comes together so beautifully just for every day. So I hope this gave you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope you have a great day. I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.